There's something about the smell of a fresh lemon. You slice it open, and before you even taste it, your body responds. Your shoulders soften, your breath deepens. Sometimes you might even feel that tingle in the back of your mouth. It feels clean, almost like your system just exhaled. And that's not just in your head. Your body is wired to respond to plants just like this. But most of us move right past that moment, and your body didn't. It responded to something real. Today, we're talking about lemon essential oil, one of the simplest, most accessible tools in natural wellness, but also one of the most misunderstood because it's easy to assume something so simple can't really do all that much. Do you ever wish your day wasn't dictated by your health? Are you tired of being tired all the time, or is pain holding you back from enjoying your time with your family? Would you like to manage your symptoms holistically, but you just don't know where to begin? I am so excited that you're here. This podcast will help you understand how natural remedies work so you can relieve your symptoms and live a fuller life. My name is Penny. I'm an occupational therapist, past pharmaceutical rep, a mom, and a wife with a strong faith, and for 25 years, I battled through debilitating Crohn's disease. I took all the medicine and did all the surgeries that stole so much time with my family, but never truly healed me. I finally realized if I was going to survive this disease, I needed to open my stubborn eyes to alternative solutions. I researched how perfectly our bodies work with plants and a lifestyle that made my health less of a burden to my family and aligned so beautifully with my faith and my medical training. If you're ready to reclaim your life with holistic options that are easy to implement as a busy mom and provide relief that lasts, this is the podcast for you. Welcome back to Becoming Natural this week. I am so glad that you are here. I am Penny, your host. And in this episode, we're really going to understand why something as simple as lemon oil can create such a fast, noticeable response in your body and how to use it in a way that actually supports your health. Welcome to episode 77, Lemon Oil Benefits. Because lemon shows up everywhere. It's in cleaning products, it's in your diffusers, it's in wellness routines, it's in your products, it's in food, and it tastes great. And over time, it becomes so familiar that we actually stop asking deeper questions. Why lemon? What is it actually doing for us? And why does our body seem to respond to it so quickly? So today we're going to take a walk through that from the plant itself to the environment around us to how it affects our body and actually what's happening inside of us. So lemon oil is something that has been creating a pattern in our lives that has been noticed for a very long time. Long before essential oils were bottled and labeled and talked about and popular, lemon was already being used intentionally. In Mediterranean cultures, citrus was used to clean, it was used to preserve food, and it was used to freshen the air. Does all that sound familiar? There weren't scientific studies to prove it or lab explanations behind it. It was just simply observation. And lemon consistently cut through buildup, reduced odor, left things feeling restored. Now we can explain what's underneath that pattern. So lemon essential oil comes from the peel of the lemon, actually. It is not from the juice. That's a common misconception. That peel contains tiny pockets of oil that the plant produces as part of its protective system, kind of like its armor, I would say. So it's a lemon armor. When it is cold pressed, which means mechanically pressed to release those compounds, it's squished like you would squish a lemon, you get a concentrated oil rich in compound called limonene. Limonene gives lemon its bright scent, but more importantly, it's been studied for its antioxidant activity, supporting detox pathways, mood regulation, immune system support, and so many other things. So when you're smelling lemon oil, you're not just smelling something pleasant, you're interacting with a concentrated version of the plant's most active chemistry. It takes a very large amount of lemon peel to produce just a tiny amount of lemon oil. That is why it is so concentrated and it takes such a small amount to make a difference. The same process applies to other citrus oils like orange or lime or grapefruit, because the peel is where these active compounds reside. That's where they live, that's where they're stored. And that's why when you hear people talk about fruit, and I've been hearing this about potatoes, that the good stuff is always in the outside of the fruit. That's where it's stored. So if you want to compare lemon juice and lemon oil, we need to, because they're very different things. Lemon juice comes from the inside of the fruit. It's water-based. It contains citric acid and vitamin C, and it works through acidity. That acidity helps break down oxidation, like tarnish on metals. Great story. I slaved over cleaning. I have a copper tabletop, and for hours I slaved cleaning using some sort of a tarnish cleaner years ago. And I mean, sweating bullets. And my husband comes home from work, and how he pulls out these things, I don't know, but he has these random natural ideas that I never knew he knew. He's like, oh, all you got to do is cut a lemon in half and put some salt on it. And I'm like, what? He literally comes in, cuts a lemon in half, sprinkles salt on the table, and uses the lemon kind of like a sponge, and it just wipes the tarnish away effortlessly. And I have been sweating bullets for hours. I was shocked. It was amazing, that whole chemical reaction. I will forever clean my copper tabletop with lemon and salt. So lemon oil comes from the peel. Like I said, it does not contain water. It is highly concentrated, and it works as a solvent, but a solvent dissolves substances. So lemon oil dissolves buildup, it breaks down residue, and it cuts through oils and grease. That's why a lot of our dishwashing fluid is lemon, because it cuts through oil and grease. Both of them can clean, but through completely different mechanisms. And that distinction matters, especially when we talk about our body. So limonene belongs to a group of compounds called terpenes. And if you've been with Becoming Natural for the long haul, there were actually 2 episodes at the very beginning of time, I'll link them up, that talk about terpenes. They are not random in plants. They are part of how a plant survives. In plants, terpenes protect against stress, they deter pests, they attract beneficial organisms, they regulate internal balance of the plant. They are very, very important, and they are the identity of every plant and why they're so different. They are biologically active compounds. They are living, working, breathing compounds inside of a plant. So when you use them, you're interacting with something that is designed to create a response. Your body isn't a plant, obviously, but it still recognizes those chemical signals, because God made plants and God made humans, and He made us to interact with them and to use them perfectly. So when you inhale lemon oil, it's not just the scent, it's a signal. When you inhale that lemon oil, molecules enter your nose and interact with your olfactory system. Your olfactory system is responsible for detecting smell, and inside your nasal cavity are very specialized little receptors that bind to scent molecules. So when those receptors are activated, they send signals to your brain. And here's what makes this system unique. We've talked about it before, but this system connects directly to your limbic system, which is part of your brain, and it regulates your emotions, your memory, your stress response, your sense of safety. Most sensory input takes a much longer route to your brain, but your scent and your sense of scent does not. It reaches the brain quickly and directly. That's why you can smell something and feel a shift before you ever even think about it. You might notice feeling calmer, feeling more alert, feeling more grounded. So when lemon oil makes you feel lighter, your nervous system is what's responding. Essential oils are made of small, volatile molecules. And volatile, I mean that they move quickly. They are moving very quickly through the air. So when inhaled, they bind to receptors, which send signals to the brain, which interact with that tissue in the brain locally. And these tissues are thin, they're highly vascular, meaning they're very rich in blood vessels, and they have lots and lots of receptors. They're receptor rich. So your body receives input very quickly, which is why the response feels immediate. So there's a question that I had because I use, and I've heard, to put lemon oil over your sinuses in order to help your sinuses dry up, is what I was told. So I did a little dive on that, but it does have an astringent effect. It creates a mild tightening sensation, which actually may reduce that sensation of having runniness in your sinuses, like runny nose, but it also has trigeminal nerve stimulation. The trigeminal nerve is a very important nerve that runs across your face, and for some people, it can be a beast of pain, and it provides a lot of chemical signals and transferring of those signals in our facial region. So it's a facial nerve. It responds to those signals. It shifts your perception of the congestion. It increases alertness, and it creates this openness, which allows our sinuses to empty. Lemon oil also affects our circulation. The touch increases the blood flow and the fluid movement. So it's not just the oil, it's the scent, it's the touch, it's the circulation. All of those things are working together for our bodies. So, of course, we have to acknowledge lymphatic drainage here as we keep referring back to how important this is. I keep bringing back my episode with Aubrey Hendershot, who's our lymphatic extraordinaire specialist. But your lymphatic system moves fluid, waste, and immune cells, but it doesn't have a pump like your heart. You have to move by itself. It relies on movement for getting that fluid throughout our body. That's why I notice a lot of my patients, if they lay in bed too long or they sit too long, they tend to gather fluid in their ankles, or they tend to, feel like they're putting on weight or they're retaining fluid. It's because they're not moving, and that movement is the pump for our lymphatic drainage. So breathing actually helps the lymphatics drain. Gentle pressure, not deep pressure at all. So when you move your hand, say from your ear to your neck to your collarbone, that's a very large region of lymph nodes. You're following drainage pathways. So fluid moves down the neck and into what we call supraclavicular nodes. Supra just means on top of. So that clavicle area is where you kind of push gently fluid into that area, and that feels like potentially drying up fluid. So I'm going to give you a little story that I was very proud of myself for self-treating, but I would say 6 months to a year, I feel like I always have water in my ear, and I would go put alcohol in my ear and try to dry it up. And it kind of worked, but not really. And finally, I just got really frustrated thinking, do I have a hole in my ear? What's going on? So I did a little research, and it turns out that it was possible that I had fluid in my middle ear, and that's what I was hearing and why it wasn't going away, potentially caused by your eustachian tubes being clogged, which would make sense because ever since I moved here, I've had allergies, and I've never had allergies before. So with my knowledge of lemon oil, I thought, I'm going to try to move that fluid out of my ears. So I just got some lemon oil and I put it down the back of my ear and the front of my ear, and I just used 2 fingers from behind my ear, down my neck to my clavicle, to that supraclavicular region. And very lightly, very gently, I just rubbed it down, 10 to 15 strokes, morning, afternoon, nighttime. I have my lemon oil sitting by my desk now because I've used it. I kid you not, the first time I did it, immediately I started feeling fluid go down the back of my throat, only on my right side. So apparently that was just some inflammation that had clogged my eustachian tubes, and just by helping encourage that fluid along, I was able to relieve that congestion in my ear that has been there, I'm not kidding, for 6 months or more. Just too long. And I don't have it anymore. And I'd had it forever. It drove me crazy because I'd hear it in there sloshing around. So that's your little lymphatic drainage win for the day. Using that lemon oil on top of pushing that fluid down very gently, it helped get that fluid into my lymphatic system and hopefully out of my body. So I'm not suppressing the fluid like we like to do with allergies. You're just increasing the flow. You want to encourage flow. Your body loves flow. So why does that gentle work better? We're taught stronger is better all the time, but the lymphatic and nervous system responds best to gentle input, consistent patterns, and low stress signals. Sometimes light pressure, calm scent, slow movement creates more change than force does. So something like that downward stroke, or a calming scent of putting lemon oil in my diffuser, or that slow intentional moment, it can actually create more movement than something forceful in our bodies. Just letting your body be still and do what it knows it's supposed to do. And that can feel counterintuitive at first by not doing anything. But by not doing anything, you're actually allowing your body to do what it wants to do. It's saying, stop, let me do this. I've got this. But when you start to see how the body responds, it begins to make sense. Just like me discovering, oh my gosh, I opened up that congested eustachian tube and my life has changed because it was driving me absolutely bonkers. So your body, we all know, already detoxes. It detoxes through your liver, through your kidneys, through your lymphatic system. God knew that we were going to be ingesting, smelling, being around toxins that we needed to get out of our body to stay healthy. The limonene has been studied for supporting that liver enzyme activity in order to encourage the detox. That means supporting what your body already does. It's not forcing it to do something, it is supporting it. You don't need extreme, massive cleanses. Nothing like my massive exorcism that I've talked about before. That was a different scenario. But as far as the lemon oil, it can be a daily, simple, calm, and easy way to detox your body just by supporting what your body does naturally. The limonene is the primary compound in the lemon oil that helps that liver to work more efficiently, and it may help your body do, like I said, what it is already designed to do, but it may just help it do a little bit more efficiently. And this is where I think we get it wrong oftentimes. We reach for these intense protocols, or the body often responds better to consistent, gentle inputs than doing something really dramatic and crazy. And lots of times trends go in that direction of doing these massive, crazy things when we just need gentleness. We need a glass of lemon water. We need a clean environment that's cleaned with lemon instead of bleach. We need a calm nervous system that is not frazzled and overreacting. Those things actually matter way more to our health and to our body than these crazy extremes. So, like I said with my story, I helped to align my body with the natural lymphatic drainage pathways that already work in my body. Yes, sounds like perhaps my eustachian tube was clogged because of inflammation. Who knows why? Allergies or food or something that I've done. But I am continuing to do that manual lymph movement with gentle pressure and lemon oil every day to prevent it from coming back, because after months of this crazy fluid in my ear, I do not want to have to deal with that again. So it's not just about drying it out. It was about helping my body relocate the fluid properly. Another way that lemon oil is really beneficial is it has antimicrobial properties. So you can use it in your home, in cleaning sprays, in your laundry, kitchen surfaces, instead of synthetic fake fragrances that could be interrupting your endocrine system. You're actually supporting your body. You're supporting air quality and your mood and your microbial balance. So just that tiny, small swap makes a huge impact. And you can add it to all those things. And we think it sounds so simple, but just add lemon oil to water and clean your countertop. I add silver, which we've talked about before, to water and a little lemon oil, and I clean my countertop. You don't have to go buy these big, expensive cleaning agents that are actually harming you more than they're hurting you. And again, we don't need to be 99.99% germ-free. We need germs. But if you're worried that it's just lemon oil and silver and water, I think that would be even better than some of the big name products that we buy, because they're causing more harm with just the scent. I can walk in anywhere and smell nasty scent. It hurts my throat, gives me a headache, starts upsetting my stomach. I'm so sensitive to those things. So that's just one very easy shift you can do in your home to lower the toxicity in your environment. And it doesn't require a full overhaul at all. It's just a tiny little swap, one little bottle of lemon oil. So another thing that you need to be careful of is that limonene acts as a solvent. So plastic is not stable when it's exposed to solvents. So lemon oil can soften plastic, pull the chemicals out of the plastic, and release them into liquids. So if you're drinking water with lemon oil in a cup, make sure it's not plastic, because that may introduce microplastics, which are hormone disruptors. So instead, use the glass, use the stainless steel, or just use fresh lemon slices. It's a simple shift. When it talks about breaking down in plastic, it sounds super technical, but really all it means is that plastic has the ability to break things down. We don't want that to happen. So what makes lemon oil effective is also what can hurt us. So it's effectively cutting grease, it's effectively cleaning surfaces and grime and breaking apart buildup. But there's the part that we don't want happening is we don't want that breaking down the plastic and then us ingesting it, because it's not stable when it comes into plastic with lemon oil. Sometimes this breakdown is happening on a level that you can't see, which means you might be thinking, oh my goodness, I'm doing something really good for my body by drinking a drop of lemon oil in my water, while unintentionally introducing those microplastics or the hormone disrupting chemicals from the plastics in the same glass. And so this is where I always come back to something simple, that our goal isn't to do more. It's to remove what doesn't belong while supporting what does belong. So instead of stressing out about any of it, just shift the container, use the glass, use the stainless steel, or just use a fresh slice of lemon. So the habit becomes aligned instead of conflicting. And just a little safety warning, you want to make sure that you use dilution of lemon oil if you use it in or on your body. You want to use carrier oils like coconut oil or a good olive oil. It also causes photosensitivity, so avoid sun exposure after you use it. And I just want to clarify, when I said I was using it for my ears, I did not put the oil inside my ear. I put it around my ear on my skin, and I just slowly brushed it with my fingers. Quality of your oil obviously matters. You want it to be third-party tested. You want it to not have any fillers. You want it to have clear sourcing. More is not better. So when you step back and look at this as a whole, your body is not responding to lemon oil as a product. It is responding to the signals that are in lemons. Signals from the small active molecules, the scent pathways, the nerve activation, tissue interaction, movement in our bodies. So when those signals align with how your body was designed to function, the response feels completely natural. It's really amazing. So there are some real life ways to use lemon oil. Number one, you can diffuse it. Just put 3 to 5 drops in the morning in a diffuser. I have a diffuser right here in my office, or you can put it next to your bed and sleep next to it at night. You can use it for cleaning. Add a couple drops to vinegar sprays or to your dishwasher. Put it in your water with caution, only food grade oil, but only in a glass. And it is an amazing, very slow, mild detox for your body. And you can use it as a reset. It's really great if you rub it in your hands, a couple drops, rub it, and then just cup your hands over your nose and your mouth and just take a big breath in. It's an amazing inhale to just reset your body. It's amazing. After you do any of that, notice your breathing, notice your environment, notice your focus. These are things that we are not used to paying attention to. Look for your subtle shifts. That is where your change begins. And all these tiny little shifts, you're not going to notice something big overnight, and you may not notice something big in a day or a week. But when you start taking all these little baby steps, you're going to look back and realize that just your general wellness is better by removing the things that aren't supposed to be there and returning the things that should be. Lemon oil is not a magic fix. It is a support. Your body already knows how to heal. It knows how to regulate. It knows how to restore you. It just responds better to clean inputs, gentle support, and consistency. God did not make healing complicated, at least for us anyway. Our bodies know how to do it. He placed what we need in things that are often so easy for us to overlook, especially in our crazy, busy world. We don't give credit to the very simple things in life. We think we need something bigger or better or stronger, but we need a lemon peel, a scent, a small rhythm. Ezekiel 47:12 says their fruit will be for food and their leaves for healing. Even the parts that we don't think about, the peel, the oil, the design. Sometimes healing is learning to trust that simple can still be just as powerful or even more powerful. Your body is always responding to input. When inputs are aligned, change doesn't have to be forced. It becomes noticeable. So don't change everything all at once. Choose one small shift that you can choose to do daily that sounds like something you want to do, that you can be successful at. Then diffuse it, swap it with one product, take one breath, and just notice over time how that one shift has changed your life. If you are just joining the Becoming Natural wagon, you're not behind. We are all learning. We are all in the same place. And the way that you're paying attention to your body, that matters more than any protocol that you can find. If there's one thing that you take with you today, is that your body is already communicating with you. It's already responding. It's already trying to move towards balance. We are designed to shift towards healing. Our body is naturally trying to heal us. We're just learning how to support it instead of override it. So don't overcomplicate any of it. Choose one small shift, one simple rhythm, one way to support your body instead of stressing it out, and stay there long enough to notice what changes, and then find another shift. Because becoming natural isn't about doing everything right or everything overnight. It's about coming back into alignment, one small intentional step at a time. Have a great week.
Thank you so much for tuning in today. If you've enjoyed today's episode, hit that follow button, leave a 5-star review if you're so willing, and help spread the message of Becoming Natural by sharing it with a friend. Check out the resources in the show notes and join the email list to stay on top of all the latest and greatest happenings at Becoming Natural as we roll out exciting new things while we grow. Until next time, take those baby steps to a more natural life and always give yourself grace. Progress, not perfection, is the goal. See you next week.